Hochberg 是著名的波浪理论的专家。那么现在中美两国的股市分别是处于哪一轮波浪当中呢？股民朋友们又该如何从中操作呢？我们一起来听一下。Hi Steve, thank you for joining us. So would you mind introduce us a little bit about Elliott wave theory? Based on your theory, which wave are we in right now?
Well, Elliott wave model that we use was developed by R. N. Elliott back in the 1930s in the United States. And it basically looks at crowd psychology, and he figured out that crowd psychology traces out specific patterns. When people get more optimistic, they do so in a pattern way, and when the trend goes down, they get more pessimistic, they do so in a pattern way. So what we do at Elliott Wave International is look at these patterns because they imply something about the future. And that's what we're looking at now. It's a little bit different in different markets across the world. For example, the United States is at the end of what we consider a fifth wave within a big upward correction. And the Chinese stock market is in a different situation right now.
So does the Elliott wave theory also apply to the Chinese stock market?
The Elliott wave theory, it applies to any freely traded market where people are participating. There's a lot of volume and a lot of emotion, because what we're looking at is the psychology of people as they behave in groups. And so China is a great example of where it works, yeah.
So which wave are the Chinese stock market?
Well, China had that big top in October of 2007 with the United States, and then had a major decline. I think it lost about 70%, 71% to Shanghai over the next year into late 2008. And since then, we've had this giant ABC rally. ABCs in Elliott wave terminology means counter trend. So we had a big run up into 2009, and then a pullback, and now a sharp move up in 2015. I think that move is ending or is over. We had that big spike up into a high into June. We had a huge reversal, down 35% in just 18 trading days. And it wasn't quite as fast as it was in the crash of 1987 in the U.S. market, but it's pretty close. And I think we're now turning the corner to the downside in the Chinese stock market.
Then how do the Chinese investors position best in that kind of situation?
It's really tough because the government in China is trying to do everything they can to keep the prices up, but it's the same thing that we did in the United States in 1929 when we tried to stop the market from going down, and we even banned short selling in financial shares here in 2008 in the United States. It doesn't work. People have to express their emotion, and I think for the average Chinese investor, being safe right now, being in cash or cash equivalents, makes the most sense until this emotion, this negativism plays itself out, pessimism reaches its extreme, and you set yourself up for a next great rally.
Okay, and I wanted to ask you about NASDAQ, since NASDAQ hit an intraday high yesterday after it came back to 5,000.
Right. This is another area where a lot of excessive speculation is coming and bursting forth within the price structure. Most of the NASDAQ's rally last year was made up of Apple. And today we've had the Google earnings come out, and people are really excited about that. And it's a very narrow rally. It's been narrowed in these giant tech shares right now. And I think that usually signals a sign of excess and excess speculation. And that tends to come at the end of big, long moves. And we've had a long rally since 2009. I think that rally is just about ending.
Oh, okay, so you're bearish on technology stocks.
We're very bearish across the board on financial assets. I think we've had a major credit boom, credit cycle within this country since 2009. And right now we have more worldwide debt than we did at the high in 2007. And I think that the collapse of that debt, being paid off, bankruptcies, restructuring, is what's going to fuel what we think is going to be a big deflationary event across the world where financial assets collapse in prices.
So Steve, what's your view about dollar?
Well, the thing about the dollar is that most of the worldwide debt is dollar denominated. And so when debt has to be paid off, or you have to service it, or if it goes bankrupt or restructured, you need dollars to pay those debts. So the demand for dollars is going to increase. As dollars are extinguished through bankruptcies or whatever, or debt that comes due and needs to be paid off, people need dollars to pay it. So I think that's going to give a boost and a floor to the dollar. We've had a big run-up. We're very surprised. We've been very bullish since 2008 on the dollar. Well, we've had that run-up, and now we've had a correction since March in the dollar, and I think that correction may not be quite over, but we're well through it. And once it ends, I think the dollar is going to start rallying again and going to new highs.
Thank you.
Thank you.